All right, so let's look at a couple of more examples. For the last three, I wrote them all out. But go ahead and just look at the first one. Now, this is a trick question because you've got a lot going on inside this parentheses here. You've got negative 15 times f times g squared. But if you look, everything is raised to the 0 power. Now, at the top of your page, you wrote down a rule to remember. Anything that's raised to a 0 power is always equal to what? If you're looking at your notes, you just let your eyes just roam up maybe 2 or 3 inches, you'll see that anything raised to the 0 power is just 1. So it doesn't matter what's going on in here. If it's all raised to the 0 power, so that's negative 15 raised to the 0, f raised to the 0, and right here 2 times 0 is 0, your answer is simply 1. You don't have to do any work. You just have to remember the rule. Now look at letter E. You've got 2 different bases, so you can't subtract, even though you may be tempted, but you can't because you got x as a base and y as a base. The only thing that's wrong with letter E, and hopefully you're writing it down, is that you have a negative exponent, and you can never have a negative exponent in your final answer. So the only way that we can work letter E is to get rid of the negative. And the only way to get rid of the negative is to move it as a fraction. So you're literally going to move this entire term, what I like to say, downstairs. Well, what's left upstairs? A 1, not a 0. You don't leave it blank. It's just a 1. So for letter E, you move the x term downstairs, and it's 1 over y squared times x to the 5th. Because remember, once you move the exponent, it becomes a positive exponent. And that's it. I can't do anything else with it because I got 2 different bases. Now, go ahead and look at letter F. Letter F, the only problem we have is that negative 8. Now, I know you're thinking, but it's already downstairs. I know it's already downstairs. This is one that follows the second box here. If it's already downstairs, but it's still negative, you have to get rid of the negative anyway. The way that you get rid of the negative is you move it. You're going to take this upstairs. It can't stay there because it's negative downstairs. So you move it upstairs and you change the sign. So your answer becomes y to the positive 8, because it's just 1, so you don't have to show the 1 unless you don't need to show the 1. So it's y to the positive 8 divided by 15 times x to the 10th power. Your 15 and your x to the 10th power can stay where they are because they're positive. Positive numbers, positive exponents don't move. Just the negative one. So you'll hear me say that a lot if you make that mistake. You can only move negative exponents. So we've done a little work here with your example. You've got an OYO at the bottom. Remember, that means on your own. I'm going to write out these 3 problems to get full credit on these notes because they are going to be for a grade. You must complete all 3 of these. And if we are in class, I'm going to be walking around. When you turn in your notes, I'm going to be checking to see if you've done them. If you got them wrong, I'm going to let you fix them. But you do not want to turn in these notes without putting in some time on the OYO. All right? So I'm going to write these down real quick. And then you finish these up, and then you can turn in your notes for your grade. So there's letter A. Letter B. You know, first let me just talk you through this. Everything here is raised to the negative 3, but you got to get rid of that negative 3. So you want to take the entire thing upstairs. That's all I'm going to say about that. Letter B, 8 times x cubed times y to the negative 4th divided by 12 times x squared times y to the negative 3rd. This one looks kind of tricky, but you're just going to simplify. And if you all need help with these, I will help you. Just don't skip them. All right? If you want to come and say, help me with these problems, I will help you if I'm in class. All right? Letter C says y to the 0 power times 8 times x to the 6th times y to the negative 3, all raised to the negative 2. So write these down, put it in an attempt. If you get stuck, ask